Well, today's Family Focus focusing on safety for Halloween with Master Trooper Matt Ames, who joins us. Thanks for coming down.
Well, thank you for the invite. I'm glad I could be here today.
Well, I'm glad you could too. You know, it's important for families out there this time of year as they're preparing their kids for the next couple of nights of trick-or-treating to think about some simple things. And while I say simple, they may be some things that people forget. What are some of the moments for you where you're like, why would people do that? Are there more common ones than others that are forgotten this time of year?
Yes, there is. Well, number one, you got to remember it's a very hectic time for mom and dad and aunts and uncles and grandma and grandpas trying to get the kids together, getting their costumes on so that they can dress up as their favorite character and dress up as their favorite superhero. So the Putnamville State Police Post, we just want to put some information out there so we can make the Halloween safety as best as possible. You know,
I remember when I was a kid, we never went to houses of people that we didn't know, but I don't feel like that's the case today.
No, that's not the case. Excuse me, that's not the case today anymore. Yeah. And basically, we ask people only to go to the houses where the lights are on the front porch and not where the lights are off.
Trick-or-treating in Terre Haute, I know, is 2 nights. A lot of cities have 2 nights of trick-or-treating. Yes. So let's start off, first of all, with the most important one, which is know when your trick-or-treating is in your community, because, quite frankly, a lot of cities are very different.
There is. I was looking at your guys' website on my way in here this morning, and several cities have different times, and some cities only have it where you're only going to have it one day. I know Rockville is only on actual Halloween itself, and it's from 5:30 to 8 in the evening.
Well, we've got some information hopefully we can share now with folks about the safety tips that we want to make sure they're aware of, starting with knowing when those dates and times are. This is a big one, the flashlights, the glow sticks, things that make them visible, right?
That's correct. A lot of the costumes that kids are wearing nowadays are very dark, and what we ask is for you just to have some type of reflective material on there, or a flashlight or a glow stick like what you said, so that they can be visible for people out on the roadways.
You know, the adult present with the kids is important, but if they're going to be on their own, make sure they've got a buddy system. What does that mean?
A buddy system means like, hey, the best time to go trick-or-treating is when you got somebody who's with you, whether it be a family member or one of your best friends. If you're going from house to house, make sure you all have accountability for each other the entire time so that you can take care of each other. If something happens, then hey, I've got my buddy here. He or she's going to take care of me.
Some good things to remember. Also talking about to people out there that these kids are going to be out and about. They're going to be walking on roadways. So you got to be careful when crossing the streets.
That is correct. One of the most important things is you know, kids get excited. Hey, I got a Hershey candy bar here. Maybe I'll give an almond bar at the next house. But they need to make sure that hey, they're with an adult and that they're looking both ways before they cross the roadway and also, not walking down the middle of the street.
And also not walking with those masks on, because I think sometimes they get excited and they really should kind of maybe take off the masks before they walk up, you know, like before you get to the door and put it back on again, right?
That is correct, because number one, it's hard to see out those masks sometimes anyway, and it's going to be dark outside, so we ask you just to take your mask, lift it up a little bit so that way you can see where you're going.
Good advice there as well. And then once you get home, the kids are really excited, I know.
Yes.
Let mom and dad check the candy, right?
Absolutely. Mom and dad need to go through the candy, make sure that all the proper seals are still there, and make sure that there's nothing looks out of the ordinary with the candy.
Yeah, it's hard to believe in this day and age that you know, people wouldn't do that, but it's a good reminder, Matt, because quite frankly, the kids, you can't trust anybody. It's just kind of a sad world we live in.
Unfortunately.
But make sure you inspect that candy. What are you looking forward to as far as with the trick-or-treating nights for the next couple of nights? What will you guys be out looking for?
Actually, we'll be out patrolling the subdivision areas where a lot of the trick-or-treaters will be, just making sure that we're providing a safe environment for them, and so that the kids can enjoy their evenings with their mom and dad and their friends, so they can get home safely and enjoy all the candy that they picked up.
What was your favorite costume when you were a kid? Do you even remember?
I'd have to say Superman was my favorite costume when I was a kid growing up. That was a big thing back then.
It sure was. Well, thank you so much for coming down. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for what you do, because your service to our community is invaluable. So.
Well, we appreciate you guys. Thank you.
We appreciate you as well. Stay with us. We will have our Friday freebie right after the break.